PlayStation 2 and Sega Dreamcast. Guys, there are over 40 games that released for both PS2 and Dreamcast, and in this video series I'm planning to compare every single one of them to see how these two systems compare. Definitely give this video a like if you like it, and subscribe if you want to see the episodes when they come out. Yeah, it would really help me out, and each episode is gonna have something between 3 to 10 games compared. But now, without further ado, let's jump into the first game. First up, we have Test Drive LeMans 24 Hours, first released on the Dreamcast and later ported to PS2 in 2001. Okay, so first game here, and right away on the car selection screen you can see that the PS2 version changed some of the design and colors, but overall it's still pretty much the same menu. And well, here you can also see the sharpness difference, and Dreamcast definitely way sharper here on the main menu. Okay, let's move on to the gameplay right away and check some differences there. Okay, right away one difference if we pause the game. Look at this guy. The Dreamcast looks so much better here than the PS2, and also a lot sharper. Okay, so if we continue the gameplay here, I mean, the thing that is pretty easy to see is that the Dreamcast definitely is a lot sharper here than the PlayStation 2. And PS2 actually also has the moving skies. It's easier to see now that we are in the gameplay. But it's not all doom and gloom for PS2, because I would say the colors are way better on the PS2. Look at the shadow, it's much better. And if you take a look at the reflections of the car, I mean, yeah, this Dreamcast is a lot sharper, but I think the PS2 is a little bit more muted. Shine on the car looks better than on the Dreamcast. What do you think? PS2 has much more visible sun glare effect, but overall it's kinda hard to argue that the PS2 can compete with the Dreamcast here. It's just so much sharper and easier on the eyes, the Dreamcast version, with the VGA cables. Here Dreamcast has some basic reflection of the road, and on the PS2 it's just black, so that's definitely better on the Dreamcast. Yeah, overall I prefer the PS2 colors, but what do you guys think? Which one do you looks better here? I mean, I would have to say Dreamcast, but we're gonna take a look at one more race in the nighttime. Okay, slowed down. I think here the PS2 has way too much bloom on the lights, but as we get closer I think the PS2 looks way better actually than the Dreamcast here. Now that we get to the gameplay, I don't know, when you take a look at the lights and bloom of the lights, I don't know which one looks better, but personally for me I think the PS2 lights looks better. And also take a look at this detail. The PS2 is missing completely tire watermarks here. But the PS2 has way more visible water effects on the screen, which I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but still, take a look at that. PS2 once again has better shadows in my opinion, but that's about it. And overall I would say the Dreamcast is definitely easily the winner here. And overall in Test Drive LeMans 24 Hours, the Dreamcast is the better version in my opinion. So let's move on to the next game. Okay, next up, 18-wheeler American Pro Trucker. This is originally a Sega arcade game that they also released for the Dreamcast, and later it was ported for the PS2 in 2001, and also GameCube has a version of this game. Okay, now 18-wheeler American Pro Trucker, and the menus in this game are exactly the same between the systems, so let's just move on to the gameplay. Okay, so once again, the Dreamcast definitely way sharper here, but the PS2 has, in my opinion, an edge in the colors over the Dreamcast. Okay, so here we are in gameplay, and I've been looking at this footage, and I have to say that I think pretty much everything is exactly the same between these two systems when it comes to details on the game and draw distance and stuff like that. So mainly it's the color differences here which are evident, and also the Dreamcast being way more sharper than the PS2. I like more the way these classes look here on the PS2 than the Dreamcast, but overall I mean Dreamcast is just so much more sharp here, and I think there's no contest here that the Dreamcast wins this game hands down. But the PS2 once again still has the better colors in my opinion. On Dreamcast it's a lot easier to read these signs, for example, because the resolution is so much higher. So let's just say that the Dreamcast is the easy winner on the 18 four-wheeler American Pro Trucker. Yeah, you should play it on Dreamcast if you have an option. And when we take a look at another track here, or another stage, the Dreamcast once again is leaps and bounds over the PS2. But keep in mind that this does not mean that the Dreamcast is the more powerful systems and all that, because these are mostly ports to the PS2, and often they didn't take any advantages of the PS2 hardware that it could have over the Dreamcast. And I mean, PS2 has games like Gran Turismo 4 and San Andreas and stuff like that that I don't think ever could have appeared on the Dreamcast. But still, here on the American Pro Trucker, the Dreamcast is definitely a better version of the game. Overall, a pretty fun game, originally from the arcades, and this home console port is pretty much exactly the same. And this is also available for the GameCube, so definitely check this game out if you are a fan of arcade games and stuff like that. Okay, let's move on to the last game in this episode. And guys, give me a feedback if you want to see something change the way I do this. I would appreciate that, but yeah, let's move on to the last game of this episode. Okay, Alone in the Dark, and here in the main menu, Dreamcast, way brighter once again, and Dreamcast is actually running 480p while the PS2 version runs at 240p. Okay, here in the gameplay, and right away I have to say that this time around the Dreamcast, I much prefer the Dreamcast colors, and also it's way sharper. If we actually pause the game here, I mean, everything on the Dreamcast version to me looks so much better. It's way sharper and looks way better than the PlayStation 2 here. On the Dreamcast his face actually has some detail, while on the PS2 it looks pretty bad, to be honest. Overall the detail is just so much higher on the Dreamcast. Look at the shadows also, they look way better on the Dreamcast here. Here slowed down, the Dreamcast detail and character shadow is so much better, but the PS2 has a different lighting effect you can see on the top of the screen, while on the Dreamcast it just flashes the screen a little bit. Yeah, but overall, in this game, I think Dreamcast so far is way better everywhere. Colors, sharpness, everything. And the PS2 has this weird green tint, which is something in the future episode I have to try with different cables also, just to make sure it's not because of that. For the future episodes, I also want to do some audio comparisons and frame rate comparisons. If I feel like one version or both feel slow, then I think it should be fun to see how the frame rate is. But for this video I messed up my recordings a little bit, so that's why I didn't do the audio comparisons here. But yeah, let's continue with the video in the cutscene. In the cutscenes, PS2 actually has one advantage over the Dreamcast. Take a look at the character's mouth, it actually moves when they speak, while on the Dreamcast it just stays shut and looks pretty stupid. And this is actually something they added to the game when the PS2 port came out. It was never in the Dreamcast version. Yeah guys, I think we're gonna conclude this video right here, and please give me feedback, how did you like this video, and please subscribe here if you want to see the future episode. That would really help me out and motivate me to do more of these episodes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.